Hello, welcome. Dare I say it? It's good to have you. I apologize. I know there's 1,000 versions of me, and this version of me just got a little bit bigger, and now he's getting a little bit smaller because this version of me realizes that doesn't make it so you can see my face more. It just makes the already existing camera bigger. Um, I've played around on OBS for like 30, 40 minutes now. Probably should have figured this out. This is probably my fifth recording, to be honest. We're not we're we're not thriving. We're surviving at best, and you know, it's going. It's going. Oh, okay. Apparently OBS has a virtual camera too. I don't actually know what preset means, but or buffering in this case, but that's okay. We're here. There shouldn't be an echo. I can't hear myself on these, which means hopefully you can't hear me twice on these. That was an issue earlier. I think I fixed it, but if I didn't, please let me know. Hopefully, you should not hear an echo when Chris Ballard speaks. The audio from the presser isn't great. I've had a bit of a hard time finding like a place to find it where it's like just straight up recorded, not from like an iPhone. But admittedly, when I looked hours ago, this is just a YouTube channel. Ken Sterling, a YouTuber I follow, who recorded it. I think just on his iPhone, but admittedly, when I looked a while ago, I couldn't find it. Maybe there is now, but um, I think this will do fine. But if there is a bit of poor audio recording, if you hear me speaking and it's poor audio recording, that's on me. If you hear the video, it shouldn't be on me. It might be on me, but who's to say? Life goes on. Am I right? So, our goat, our king, and I'm definitely being genuine when I say that, Ken Sterling. Ken Sterling's the goat and the king. I love this man, okay? If any of you say anything negative about him, I will come and find you. Okay? Anything negative about any of the Colts media members, you are on my non-existent chopping block. Okay? Be afraid. You've probably never seen this man before. I don't care. If you don't like him, you don't like me. I know I'm being passionate about this. I don't really care that much, but it feels like a funny bit that's gonna end now. We will have subtitles on. I will pause, react to some comments, and yeah, you know the drill.
Interesting conversation we had with Chris Ballard today, talking about the makeup of the roster, but primarily talking about the quarterback position and what his feelings are about Anthony Richardson and what his track toward success is with the Indianapolis Colts. Interesting, and I think Chris had.
I think there also might just be a bit of audio degradation as like I record through OBS because it's sounding weird on my end too. When like I watched this earlier with these headphones and it was fine, but
About enough of those questions, tell you the truth. Wanted to talk
I watched about the first 10-ish minutes before I realized I probably should record this.
about some of the other guys on the roster, and you're going to hear that. And you also hear kind of how difficult some of the cuts were for the Colts, and you also get to hear Chris find out that the Colts claim brings a linebacker from Jacksonville to Indianapolis. So
We'll get into that.
it was kind of interesting. He found out via Twitter and Mike Chappell that
I need to throw something away very quickly. I'm still here. You're not missing out much on the first part. I did the intro. I don't want to do another recording. I already have like 30 just through testing. I figured out that if I stream, I can test it too, but then there's a bit of a delay, blah, 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 blah. I'm still here. Just,
the Colts, their claim, they get it. So that's kind of interesting. We sometimes we find out before they do, and we're finding out because we're in the room looking at our screens, and Chris is answering questions. But interesting, a little window into Chris Ballard today, and a little bit different than normal with Chris Ballard.
Last month since we last talked, I thought we had a really good training camp, great competition. It was physical, I think, as you all saw. We got after it pretty good. I was really pleased with not only the effort, but the intensity day to day of what we went through. Of course, always tough decisions when you're coming to the final cut down, and I don't ever take that lightly. Um,
I disagree. You cut multiple prospects who, yes, may have been, well, prospects, guys that you would need to work on. The guys who showed potential and were better than some of the guys you saw. We'll get into that. I'm sorry.
players that they've been here for 5, 6 months, some of them longer, a couple years, and you got to say, goodbye to them. That's not always easy to do. Um, but it's also part of the game, and I think everybody understands that. I think one of the things, and I talked with our coaching staff about this before we made the cuts, was like, hey, let's make sure that when we do this, every player understands why. Okay, here's the reasoning. All right, here's the
I'm pretty sure, like, any competence, because, like, as much as I hate on the guy, he's competent, right? Like, he's put together, I mean, 500 teams, not like the amount of teams he's put together, but like 0.500 teams for basically his whole career, which in and of itself isn't great, but compared to some other GMs is good. He's not a great GM. He's below average. We've seen this for 10 years, but for 10 years to be consistently meh, in and of itself is sort of an achievement that's not necessarily positive, but not necessarily negative. So I do think he's worth the salt. I do credit him for telling guys, what they need to improve on with their cut. Um, I think he would be a great assistant GM, a great fan, cheerleader. Um, I think he could be the new Seth Erkins. Commentator, maybe? No, he jabbed the whole time. I don't know. He's worth the salt because he's done it for a little bit, and so he knows how to be just good enough, I'll say. I felt like I gave him too much praise earlier. He's done it for a while, so he knows how to just be good enough, and that's sort of it.
things you need to get better at. Because a lot of times it's just,
I went through all that because I said any good GM will say that, and then I didn't want to imply that he's a good GM, but yeah,
hey, you're out the door. See you later. Thanks for your time. No,
probably did that with Juju Brent's about to do that with Anthony. Fingers crossed, free the man. I'm out on him, but they've hoed him.
just wanted to make sure that we were we were pretty explicit in what we told each guy. Hey, these are the reasons why. Most of them had a good idea already, but it also gives them a way to improve. Feel good about the team. Feel good about where we're at.
We like our guys.
We'll still work through the roster as we will all season, but week one never looks the same as it will week 8, 9, 10, 11, based on injuries and things that happen. But excited about the team, excited about the roster. Unfortunate that we lost a couple guys. Um, you know, Freeland's injury at tackle, he was really taking a.
Not going to mention the guys he cut who have been on the Colts for a while. He drafted that he pled be patient with. Juju Brents, Jelani Woods.
That big step in year 3. Losing Hunter and Wally, that was a blow, which caused us to have to make some other moves. They were coming along. I mean, both of them are going to be excellent, excellent football players in this league. I think all of you saw the progress both of those guys were making, and both kind of like Wally. I had to keep watching the tape over again and over again when he did his ACL, and kind of the same thing with Hunter with his foot. But that
We don't know what that means. Like, Wally and Hunter were watching tape after they got injured of like play of their injury. We don't know if that means Ballard is just watching their injury on repeat. We don't know. Um, you'll see. He gets a little Donald Trumpy. He gets a little rambly.
part of the game. You have injuries and you gotta find a way to find answers. Okay, they're not always perfect, but you find answers and guys you think you can win with. And we think, and I give my staff a lot of credit for working extremely hard, making sure we had names, making sure we were constantly active and looking for players. But feel good about where we're at, where we're going. Far away.
I think you and your staff are the only ones. Hopefully, management doesn't. gonna go like 8-9, 9-8, 7-8, 10-8 at best. We're gonna get smoked in the wild card, if not smoked in the second round due to another team just having injuries. This team is not good. This team is not close. This team has been established for 10 plus years almost. I mean, I think Quentin's probably the oldest guy that we've drafted, outside of some guys who have retired. Maybe it's Zaire, but. And, I mean, he's year 6, year 7. I mean, Pittman's 28. Who else? John Taylor's 26. I mean, we're not close. And if we are close, we're going backwards because guys are getting older, right? I mean, Quentin's had to deal with chronic back injuries, and we've seen his play get worse. DeForest Buckner, traded for him, hasn't really been able to stay healthy and has gotten worse. Grover, less so, but similar. Getting more, gotten worse. Like, guys are getting older. If we're close, this cannot be the team to bring us over the top. Daniel Jones cannot be the guy to bring us over the top.
Hey, Chris, since you guys named Daniel starter, have you found it necessary, or have you talked to AR about his future here, how he fits in, or not?
No, he has not talked to Anthony Richardson. His fourth pick, 2 years ago, not talked to him once. Played a role in making this decision. Steichen said it himself. He's talking to Ballard about it too. I think it's because they both know their jobs are on the line, but he played a role in this. He's apparently talked to Anthony in the past. I mean, this is the guy that plans the team's future. Listen to his answer.
Not a lot of talks with AR, but I've had a lot of talks with his agent. Coaching staff handles, they talk to Anthony a bunch. I mean, I've talked to Anthony.
You also decide whether or not we sign Daniel Jones or another quarterback next year, or whether we pick up AR's fourth option 2 years from now. I guess it's fifth year, whatever.
Because the one thing I think is getting overshadowed a little bit is Daniel.
No, in fact, I totally disagree. The supposed beauty of Daniel is he's consistent. Apparently, your guys' philosophy is no news at quarterback is good news. Gardner Minshew having 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception is good news. 60% low turn, like, apparently that's good news. I mean, if your whole philosophy is consistency, that's not going to bring news. That's not gonna get the press. You should know this.
Because both of them competed, professional, battled to the end, and at the end of the day, Daniel, won the job.
Asking questions about whether or not you talked to your, number 4 pick 2 years ago does not imply that we don't think Daniel Jones did not compete or play hard.
Does that mean we're down on Anthony? No, but
yes,
I don't want to, dismiss that. Daniel he's had a good run here. It reminds me a lot of Alex Smith.
Do I need to say anything? Alex Smith, Utes guy, even without that, the guy was like a genuinely good quarterback towards like the middle end of his career. Obviously not great starting out. Daniel Jones has never been a good quarterback. Alex Jones had some pretty good arm talent. Daniel Jones has a wet noodle. Alex Smith, a little bit mobile, could make sort of the big chunk plays. Daniel Jones just doesn't really want to take contact anymore. And I mean, you'll see this. I think we'll see week 2 or week 3, they will stop running the guy, despite the supposed dual threat nature of him, which is why we signed him.
That he had in Kansas City, who I thought was just the ultimate professional. Day in and day out, the team knew exactly what they were getting, and I feel that's kind of the same thing with Daniel. So,
and there's a reason the press around Alex Smith was limited. You knew what you were getting.
I know the story's always been about Anthony, but also let's don't lose sight of, Daniel did some good things.
It's been about Anthony because he's the number 4 pick. Daniel Jones signed a 1-year deal. Anthony Richardson got picked number 4 with a 4 or 5 year deal. Of course we're going to talk about Anthony. He's the guy that you said is the franchise quarterback. Yes, we're going to talk about Anthony. No, nobody wants to talk about Daniel Jones. If he's supposedly consistent, he's consistently bad. Nobody wants to talk about that. We want to talk about the potential beast, and even if I am out on him, the potential is there. We want to talk about the number 4 quarterback you yourself drafted, you yourself pled patience with, being benched.
And he's been a really good professional. He's been through a lot. And then
Not really.
going to Anthony,
Heard a couple times, yeah, but also made a crap ton of money for doing next to nothing, and is now making 14 million and starting.
like I know the negativity and it's easy to say, okay, he's done, and I don't agree.
There's 100 plus years of NFL history. I mean, maybe not that long, but 75 years of NFL history on our side.
I've said this numerous times. I do not agree with that. I think overcoming challenges and obstacles along the way are good for anybody.
Cool. You know what obstacles are going to be better for him to overcome? Real NFL obstacles against real NFL players.
I do. I'm proud of Anthony of where he's at,
Then why aren't you starting him?
how far he's come. He's come miles.
And why aren't you starting him?
I mean, I want you to think back, and it's tough on any young quarterback in this league. But for him to keep taking the growth steps that he has
Then why aren't you starting him?
and to work so hard and then not get the goal for himself right now to continue to do that, that's when we got a chance to see real growth. And I'm
If this is how you see real growth, why didn't you do this the first year? Why didn't you do this second year? Why didn't you keep him benched the second year? Why?
and
Like I'm speechless.
there's some value, there's a lot of value in sitting behind a guy that's a professional
Do it the first year or follow through with it on the second year.
and watching and learning and growing and working on the things you need to work on without the same pressure of being the starter.
Supposedly, the things he needs to work on, the things that he lost to Daniel Jones in the quarterback competition: consistency, the ability to call out blitzes and play calls, at line presence, and the ability to shift blockers around. Just things like that. Basically, just at line presence and just veteran stuff. You can watch that other video. It doesn't need to be my video. Go watch the Shane Steichen press conference. He says it pretty quickly. I mean, if that's what he needs to improve on, I don't really care that there's pressure there that comes with being a starter. Because if he's a starter, that pressure is going to force him to improve those things or force him to be done, force him to move out, force him to get another job.
There is. There's a lot of good to that.
What
Then why didn't you do it?
follow up? When you made the move, has anyone contacted you about trading, getting him in a trade?
Yeah, no, but we're not trading him.
Okay.
Why? Management pressure? You don't want to admit you messed up?
Chris, you talked about Anthony and him having to go through things. What is like the long-term plan for him, and how clearly can you lay that out for someone who a couple years ago was the number 4 pick in the draft and now has been put on the bench for the second time?
Yeah, and
Really good question. Great question. I'm so sorry, I can't think of his name. He's a prominent Colts reporter. He's been on Locked On Colts a bunch of times. I can't think of his name. I'm so sorry. I love the guy. He's really good. I think that's a great question, and I think Ballard ends up agreeing. Can you lay out a plan? All right. The plan was initially for him to start. Got injured. The plan second, or the second plan was for him to start. Got injured. Got benched. Now the plan is for him to sit. When he's done that for over 50% of the games in his NFL career, what's the plan going forward? What's the plan for your supposed franchise quarterback who can still improve?
look, that's a fair question. But what I would tell you is, like, everybody's growth and path and journey in this league is different.
Basically, I don't know.
They are. And they're not always, I wish I could draw a straight line from A to B and say, this is the thing, this is how it's going to go.
Even if you can't establish things perfectly, nobody's expecting you to. But do you not have some idea on what you want to do with him in the future? Are you going to plan on starting him next year? What do you need to see in order for him to start? Are you planning on keeping Daniel, depending on the record? Do you believe he'll keep your job? Hopefully not. I mean, you don't need to say, hey, 6 games from now he's going to start throw for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and rush for 40. We don't want that. I mean, we do. That'd be great because it means our GM's a fortune teller. We just want some idea. Give us some idea that you know what you're doing. When they ask you about a plan, don't say, well, everybody's different. You know, he's going to grow, he's going to fail. I don't know, Poe Buddy's nerfed.
Okay, we're going to start here and we're going to end up here. Well, we all know that's not life. That's not real life. And it's the same thing with Anthony. Like there's up and down and there you see growth and then there's some moments where you say, okay, we need to get better at that. So I think following Daniel and watching him work, and if he continues with the growth that he's had, like Anthony's been good. He has, and he's made
He's been better than Daniel Jones in training camp. I'd argue he was better than Daniel Jones the past couple years outside of like 2022.
tremendous strides. Is he there yet? No. But does
But Daniel Jones is,
he have work to do? Yes. And Anthony will
and Daniel Jones apparently doesn't.
acknowledge that. Like, I'm really proud of I mean, it's like one of the fun parts of this job is watching guys just start to really mature. And
Historically, your draft picks have never improved outside of like seventh round picks and some seventh round picks. Like you drafted a couple okay guys. Q, Hall of Famer, obvious pick, whatever. JT, obvious pick, whatever. Pittman, good pick. Pierce Downs, okay picks. Bernie, okay picks. I mean, you have not been a great drafter overall. You have not really seen guys improve. If you want to say maturity, fine. That's just going to happen with age. If you're meaning like literal maturity. But we have not seen guys improve under you. I call BS.
I know everybody thinks that a 20, 21, 22-year-old young man should be a grown man. All right. And everything.
No, but that's what you made us think when you started him. If you're starting an NFL quarterback, I mean, I don't know why he's really bringing maturity into this. I guess because he says Anthony was not mature enough to know how to be a NFL quarterback, whatever. When you start him, be him 21, 22, be him 37. That implies he's mature enough and that he's ready to go. You don't need to sit him behind anyone. He's gonna go. He's gonna be good.
They do, but that is not that's that's not the case in any world. I don't with anything you're doing in life. Like these are young people, and it takes some time. So to watch him grow and to continue to mature and then to handle the adversity. Like there's two ways you can handle this. Like you can go in the dumps or you can accept the challenge.
How are we supposed to know that our number four quarterback, who we are investing a lot in, our supposed franchise quarterback, is not in the dumps? You're not showing us. How are we supposed to know this? There's no way to fact check this, Chris.
And accept the challenge to keep getting better, be prepared, continue to work on your fundamentals, continue to work on the daily game planning that has to happen as a quarterback, to collaborate with the other quarterbacks in your game planning, and then being ready to go.
If he's worked and improved on all of that, why isn't he starting? Those are the things you and Shane supposedly
You're one
want.
snap away. That's real. That is real. And that's a natural development. I know you want me to sit here and give you an A to B plan. Look, it's about daily, everyday work and doing it without the pressure of being the starter. And saying all of that, we're getting lost again. Like Daniel's done a lot of good things. I mean, y'all saw the practice. He did some good things, and he's a good player,
Anthony did better things. He's not a good player. I mean, neither of them really are from what we've seen, but
and he's an ultimate professional, and he's a consistent player day in and day out.
So along those lines, why when I asked Shane Steichen, okay, what things do you lean on and look at for this guy to believe in him? And he goes back to 2022. That was 3 years ago.
Yeah, he did go back to 2022. Well, in 2022, he was really good. Yeah, well, year after that, he was shit house. Year after that, he got cut. Like, sorry, I'm trying to look up the reporter. I do really like him. I can't. It's not coming to mind who he is. I do apologize. I know this is not the most professional, but
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not going to 2022. I'm going to what we've seen since he's been here.
And I guess
so you signed him not knowing what he was then.
again, yeah, can you explain what things have you seen to give you that confidence that he can be a winning quarterback?
His ability,
He's professional. He's worked well with the other guys.
look, his ability to run the offense, to get him out of good and bad plays, to know the checks, just to get things that most veteran quarterbacks.
Then why did you say it was a competition? If that's what you're looking for, and you know a veteran has that, and that's what Anthony struggled with, why call it a competition?
Can do, and to make sure that we're continually moving the chains. That consistency is a good thing. And look, he has some explosive ability in it.
If that's what you wanted the whole time, the ability to move the chains, why would you draft a career like 48% passer? If that's what you wanted, if that's supposedly what Shane wanted, if you go back and watch during draft interviews, that's what they wanted. Is somebody who's consistent, works hard, and loves their craft. They drafted a guy who's not consistent, somebody who by all reports might not work hard, and somebody who might not love his craft. And now you're surprised. You wanted a guy who can move the chains and you drafted Anthony Richardson. You drafted a project quarterback. Project quarterbacks can't move the chains. Project quarterbacks can't complete passes. All right? Don't bring up this bullshit excuse now. All right? If this is truly what you wanted, then you were either messed up drafting Anthony Richardson and you didn't put in your homework, or you didn't care, or you're lying.
Too. I think we saw that in the preseason.
He was not good in the preseason. We barely saw him run at all, and when he did, he like, ooh, like just dove out of the way at contact.
The quarterback decision is the quarterback decision, right? It's made. But the one thing I would ask you is the idea that
Is it Dasani? No, dang it, it's Smart Water.
Anthony can grow
Oh, Gatorade.
more in year three on the sideline does not make any sense to me. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I think and I think I explained it earlier. I don't know if you were
You didn't.
listening. You're a good listener too. But I think there's times
6 minutes in, huh?
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, you got your question, your loaded up question that you want to answer. So that's what y'all don't listen to what I said before.
Because you ramble and you don't say anything. You asshat.
I think it is good for young players, especially at the quarterback position.
Then do it his first year when he arguably needs it the most. And it's arguably the best time. Not arguably, it's the best time to do it.
If they're not completely ready to sit back without the pressure
So he was completely ready year one and year two, but not year three?
of daily pressure of having to perform. Now, it's the pressure is still there because he's one play away, but it's much different. It's much different. I just think the little intricacies that they can learn by doing the backup role can serve them well because he's still serving the start. Let's don't forget that backup role is still serving the starter.
I agree with that. Backup role plays a big role oftentimes. You know, they are one play away. They do affect starter decisions, right? Like in college, you see them on the sideline, full uniform up, talking to the on-field quarterback, right? Like they have an impact. If this is truly what you believe, why do this year one and year two? Why not do this year one and year two, or at least part of year one and part of year two, or all of year one, part of year two, whatever? Why not do it then, when he needs to improve, when he's early in the contract, when you know that's what he needs to work on, rather than now, when this team is 3 years older, when Anthony's 3 years older, and supposedly should be 3 years better than a rookie quarterback?
Okay, and that's different. That's different. You know, and it's different for Anthony. It's an area that he's embraced, and it's been fun to watch so far, and would be fun to watch as we go forward.
Chris, do you feel like he needs more growth off the field or on the field?
He's a good kid. Like, I don't worry about. I think with any young person, like any young player on our team, when they come in the building, you would hope that they're ready-made, ready to go professionals in every aspect of both in the building and out of the building. But like,
You starting him, begging patience with us, saying he has these traits. Why would we believe you now? Why would you believe?
I said earlier, like they young men take time to grow. They just
I agree. So don't start them immediately then.
they have to learn and grow. And I think he's done a really good job managing all the expectations, not only externally but internally.
I don't know
And I
about
think he's
internally.
growing in that area.
But Chris, looking at AR's time with the franchise, at first you all were saying we should probably start him, and you did, and then you benched him last year, and then 2 weeks later you put him back in the starting lineup, and then now he's taking a step back again. So with so much flip flopping in a matter of months, why should people believe in the plan you have now for him versus the plan you all previously had?
Well, I don't quite that. So you're really good asking questions because you always get to why should people believe. I don't
You haven't given us any evidence in 8 years.
answer why should people believe.
You're the GM. Answer why this team is good. Why do you believe this team is good? That's why people will believe. If a team is good, they will believe. If a player is good, they will believe. All right? I believed in Keontae George year one. I thought he was pretty good. I know we're pivoting to basketball, but I thought he was pretty good. I didn't believe in him year two as much because he was bad and took a step back. It's as simple as that. I don't believe in the Jazz because I know they're bad. I don't believe in the Colts because I know they're bad. I will believe in the Colts if I know they're good. Sell us on why they're good. This is a simple answer. This isn't a gotcha question. This is an evaluation of your job and your team. Why should we believe this team is good?
Like, I think you know the answer. They believe when you win.
And you haven't done that.
If you don't, they don't believe. Like, it wouldn't matter who was a quarterback. They wouldn't believe.
If Anthony Richardson was throwing 60% of his passes as completions, I won't be unrealistic. Having 25 to, and even 10 interceptions, having a couple rushing touchdowns, like 400 or 500 yards rushing, we believe. I'd believe. I wouldn't believe you're the guy, but I believe in the team, right? Like I believe in AR. Like if you believe in the starting quarterback, you believe in the team, right? Because a good starting quarterback is going to elevate a team to a certain level, no matter what.
If you didn't win, they're not going to believe. If you win, they give you a little more benefit of the doubt, and then y'all help put doubt to make sure there's questions being asked. That's the only way I know how to answer that one.
You've said that for 8 years now, and you've never fulfilled that answer.
I don't know what you want me to say.
I want you to say why this team is good. I want you to say how this team has improved. I want you to say how our number 4 draft pick has improved. I want you to say why this team has a future. I want you to say why this team could be a playoff contender. I want you to say how this team could be even better in years future. I want you to say, I'd rather you say you like the guys, all right? I'd rather you say, I believe in this team. You should believe in this team because we're good. I'm a good GM. I believe in this team because I've done a good job with this team. It'd be bullshit, but I'd rather you say that than not having an answer. You're admitting you don't win. This roster is basically the same with a couple decent additions, but in overall still pretty meh rooms. I mean, I like Nick Cross and I like Cam Bynum. Both are very similar players. I like Travarius Ward. He's also 31, coming off a terrible year. Injury prone guy. Why would we believe when the two additions you've added are not like are important positions, but also they're two players and positions that just don't matter nearly as much as a running back or a quarterback, or in my opinion, to some extent, an offensive lineman, right? Julian Blackman, for as much hate as he got, I thought was pretty good last year. Like, go look at his PFF grades. I thought he was good. Playing on one arm. Adding Cam Bynum does not drastically change my view of this team. Adding Travarius Ward does not drastically change my view of this team. Explain why we should believe, because those two guys ain't doing it.
Swinging
I sort of blacked out there. I'll be a little bit honest. I'm getting a little red, but
affect your ability to believe.
I think it affects everybody. I mean,
so you don't believe.
I think everybody, like, winning and look, you can win sometimes and not deserve it, and lose sometimes and deserve to win. That's the nature of sports. But I think anytime you get over the hump and get to the goal you're trying to reach,
Never done that as a GM.
there's a confidence level in everybody.
I think he's made the playoffs once as the Colts GM. Once. And that was during a COVID year with fluky injuries throughout, the league, much less the conference.
And look, we had it going pretty good there for a while. And,
No, you didn't.
at the end of 21, we kind of started going down this road where, I don't want to say
21 after you traded for not Matthew Stafford, Matt Ryan. You actually could have traded for Matt Stafford, still could have. After you traded for Matt Ryan and got us to the point where we got the number 4 pick.
we lost our confidence.
No, you lost the ability to. You lost our confidence in you. Whatever was left, you lost our confidence in you.
We've not been able to finish things out
You didn't finish things out before.
seasons like we need to, and that's something we think we're going to improve on.
Really? 2 free agency signings, a couple of decent draft picks. Tyler Warren, for as much as we love him, he's a rookie. At best, he's a top 15 tight end this year. I think his ceiling can be pretty high, but he's also a rookie, right? Even still, tight ends are not going to add, 4+ wins onto a roster. It's not going to take an 8-9 team to win, 12-7 or whatever, 12-5. Shut up, it's late. If you really think that's what you need to improve on, Daniel Jones is not the guy. 2 free agency signings are not the guy. Year 9 of you is not the guy for sure, but
Anthony's past performance and availability, for sure, is kind of what brought us to
Yeah.
the 2 quarterback situation, right? Daniel's recent past performance is not great,
recent for the past 3-4 years.
at least on paper, statistically.
No, not just on paper and statistically. Bad on play, bad with the eye test, bad.
How much are you examining that part of it, and
Well, he's the ultimate professional.
is there any possibility you're overlooking any of that?
Dumbass drop the cap.
I, I mean, look, I just examined what we watched over the last few months, okay? And that's it. I don't want to
So he's a drastically better quarterback than the guy who got cut for Drew Lock.
overcomplicate that any more than it is. There's been, I'm not
So you're only taking into account training camp. You're taking into account training camp, and that's why you're starting him over your number 4 pick.
going to get into, but there's examples of guys that have had rough starts to their careers and have
Daniel Jones is 27.
absolutely bounced back and had good careers.
Do you believe Daniel Jones is going to do that? If you did, why sign him to a 1 year?
And there's examples of guys who've been benched who come back and play. Um, so that we just judge what we have right now.
So you don't judge in the past then. You don't judge history. You don't judge overall bad quarterback play. You just judge what you have right now. You signed him before training camp. You judged off when you met him, I guess.
We do have like 51 other guys on the team.
Are they as important as the quarterback position?
Do you have any other questions on the team? I mean, you can
Are they not a part of the team, the 2 quarterbacks?
spin in this other one as many ways as you want, but we do have 51 other teams. Absolutely, and look, let me say this: they deserve to ask these questions.
Let
And
me, let me rewind this because I want to see if I can catch what he said.
do you have any other questions on the
I'm sorry if it gets louder. I think your volume stays the same. I think it's just getting louder for me. But if it does, I'm so sorry.
team? I mean, you can keep spinning this other one as many ways as you want, but we do have 51 other teams. Absolutely, and look, let me say this: they deserve to ask these questions, and I deserve. And look, we, I understand the doubt.
Yeah, you better. You've done nothing in your 8, 9 years to disprove us.
Um, and that's our job to, to go prove it at the
Then you failed.
end of the day. It's a long season. Um, and, things are good and bad. You have good moments and bad moments. But like I said before, like when you win, it sure helps a lot of those issues.
And you've never done that.
Chris, you said previously that you regret having played Anthony right away. Were you pressured by ownership to put him out there?
No, no, no,
Yes.
no, no, no. Come on, Bob. No, not at all. We made the decision. You learn sometimes with decisions that didn't go the way you wish they would have gone.
What do you mean? Yeah, duh, you learn from stupid decisions. It was a clear decision. I mean, I was fine. I'm fine with playing him at the time. I was fine with playing him at the time. I was fine with playing him last year. I was fine with having him play through the rest of the year. I'm fine with playing him this year. All right? Yes, you learn from your mistakes, but you don't go back and try and fix past mistakes. All right? On a podcast I listened to, somebody compared it to trying to put toothpaste back in a tube. You just can't do it. All right? This is 3-year-old toothpaste. This is some nasty toothpaste. I mean, this toothpaste is turned into powder, and you're trying to put it back in the toothpaste roll. I don't know whatever you'd call the thing. Whatever. You can't go back and fix past mistakes. You of all people should know that because you yourself have said it. Okay? You said it like 6 months ago in your presser. You're doing this to try and fix past mistakes, yet you refuse to acknowledge it, and it's clear. It's clear.
Um, and so, but no, there was no pressure. No.
Do you feel like you did enough or maybe the right homework on Anthony coming out of Florida?
No,
No.
we knew. We knew it was going to take time.
Then why didn't you bench him if you knew this is what he was? Contradictions.
Everybody knew. Yeah, like we knew. I, we knew it was going to be a little bit of a roller coaster. Absolutely. I mean,
If you knew that, why start him immediately? If you knew he had these issues, why start him?
just his history in college.
High school too.
Um, and so that's just part of the growth. No, you got to, sometimes you got to take a swing. We took a swing and look,
So that implies you're out. Took a swing. Not swinging a hit, we took a swing.
I'm not ready to say that we missed because I don't think we have.
Okay, I was gonna say that bit me in the ass a little bit, but
I think Anthony has a bright future. I believe that. Anything else?
Yeah, I've got not just to
just one belly laugh. Oh nope, there's the Dasani. Right in that corner right there. There's the Dasani. The ever classic Dasani. There's one belly laugh. We've already had basically a we like our guys. We're gonna have one time where he just like swears randomly for no reason. Like I'm not offended by swearing, but it's a little bit Gavin Newsom-y, where he's like, "This is bullshit. Sorry for my language. Sorry." Like I guarantee you, watch. There's gonna be at least once.
the trend. What what has gone on is going on with the cornerback room. It's just night and day who's in there.
Yeah. So
Every interesting young guy we've had is gone.
I mean, all of a sudden you lose Wally, who we were really excited about. Juju. I mean, poor kid just had bad luck. He's a great young man. He's very talented. He's just had some bad luck. And I'm hoping for him maybe a change of scenery, and he'll get it turned around where he can stay healthy. But we just, going into it, we knew we needed, to go when we made the, we went and got Mooney. We thought that was a really good signing. Gave us a true, number one corner that has a proven track record. And then when Wally went.
Okay, one, who is Mooney? I don't think that's the new guy we signed. Two, why isn't it Charvarius Ward? You're paying him like a number one. You yourself have said he's a number one, I believe. Cornerback room. let's see. Who is Mooney? Who's Mooney? Who is Mooney?
Down, and then all of a sudden Jones is down, Juju's down. We're like, okay, what? We got to start finding some answers here. We had Lou had a history with Xavier. I actually worked Xavier out in college when I was with the Chiefs, and we were really high on Xavier, and he has a proven track record of being a good player.
Not for 2 years. He also has a proven, well, maybe not proven, an alleged track record of being a really shitty guy. Look up what he allegedly did.
I know the year out, he hadn't played, but I think that might have ended up being good for his body because he's looked really good. And then the move for Blackman in Minnesota was something we've kind of been playing with over the last 3 or 4 weeks with.
Why? Why? So you were playing with this through training camp when you knew he was bad and about to get cut? You bailed the team out. You gave him a six. A six. You can get real players in the six. You can at the very least get practice squad guys in the six. Alright? You give them a six for a guy who's coming off a torn ACL, which impacts basically every physical need you may have to play at quarterback position, right? Like mobility, speed, like you're trading a six for that guy. You're signing Xavier Howard. I'm fine with cutting Juju Brents, but you cut Chris Lamond, you cut John Edwards. Two younger guys who I believe are probably about as good as at least Blackman. Don't get me wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope both end up being all pros, right? Like I think Xavier had like 10 interceptions at cornerback. 10 interceptions is insane. At cornerback is absurd. I hope he gets back to that. He's not going to. He's not going to. I mean, I don't. I, I just don't know. Like I'm speechless to an extent.
Because he's looked really good. And then the move for Blackman in Minnesota was something we've kind of been playing with over the last 3 or 4 weeks with Minnesota, and feel fortunate to get him because we think he can play a few different roles. He can play both inside and outside. He's a good cover guy. He's aggressive. So we're excited about getting him and that depth. And then getting Jones, we'll get Jones back here up and running, and I still believe in Jones. I think he can. I think Jones can be a really good player.
I agree with that.
And then Edwards was, from Tulane, who was undrafted. Man, I think he did a lot of really good things this.
Was dominant in the preseason, like a 90 PFF grade. Obviously, preseason. But also, I'm willing to take the 90 PFF preseason grade over the guy coming off a torn ACL. I think somebody's car getting stolen. I'm willing to take the 90 PFF preseason guy over Xavier Howard, 31-32, and Mekhi Blackman, who's I think like 26, 27, but also coming off a torn ACL. I'd rather take Jones and the other guy. Sorry, I'm brain farting. Jones and the other guy, the 90 PFF guy, over those two. Both are cheaper. Both, in my opinion, are probably better, and both just make more sense for this team.
Preseason. He's big. He's a good athlete. He can run. He's conscientious. He's tough. Like there's a lot of great qualities that I think Edwards has. So yes, there has been significant change in that room.
Also, you cut Juju Brents for injury and then traded for a guy coming off a torn Achilles. ACL.
Some based on injuries from where we started. Some based on, look, we knew we needed to get better. We knew we needed to get better.
After 8 years, you just now know you're needing to get better. I don't think Chris Ballard is the guy making these decisions at cornerback. Right? He's not. I don't think Chris Ballard is the guy making the decisions at defense. I think Lou is the guy making these decisions. All right? Chris Ballard, throughout his 8 years, has never signed a cornerback. He's never signed secondary. We had Julian Blackman playing on one arm last year. There's no chance that in 1 year he's switched his philosophy of drafting cornerbacks late, hoping they work out, to Let's sign a bunch of old guys and vets. Maybe us begging for him to sign someone at cornerback has finally come through and it's just hitting like a ton of bricks. But I doubt it. And I don't love a DC who, while yes, presumably solid, has never had a defense that's genuinely like top 10, top 15. Just got fired from, a team who had one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Maybe that's not fair to blame on him, but it's not like this guy has a proven track record, okay? I don't love Ballard making decisions. I for damn sure don't love Lou making decisions as DC and as a guy who has not led a very successful defense.
What are you getting with Muma, the guy you got from Jacksonville?
Um, who?
Chad Muma.
Chad Muma.
This is why I think Lou is running the defense. Is running the signings.
Linebacker.
Oh, we claimed him. We
We
got
signed
him.
him. Yep.
Okay, here we go. News to me. I'm glad I just got.
Bullshit. You did not.
Good job. I mean, y'all, Twitter is unbelievable. It,
At least he called it Twitter. Chris Ballards woke.
it is a news source. Now, look, we knew we wanted. We kept four. Knew we wanted to add, another guy. We're still going to bring some other guys in. It's different than it was in the past because in the past we
I don't actually care that we signed Muma. I can predict what he's about to say. That's different in the past. We've had some stability in the past. We had Gus in the past.
usually
But no, I'm fine with bringing Muma in. I don't love cutting, cornerbacks and defensive tackles who have looked pretty good for a linebacker who's not very good. But I digress.
six and dress six in the schemes we were in before, but now, a little differently where, he'll play some dimes. So
Okay, I had it right. Just instead of saying, oh, we had Gus in the past, he liked X, Y, and Z. Now we have Lou, he likes A, B, and C.
we're really only playing with a Mike and a Will. Uh, but we liked him coming out.
He's a Will.
He could play probably both Will and Mike. He's good on teams.
I think he's probably better as Mike. His coverage isn't very good.
We liked him coming out of Wyoming. He's had some experience playing, so that's good.
Not good experience.
Good, excited. I don't get to be, but excited to find out we got him.
Where do you view like positions of strength either side of the ball for you right now?
I think we're, I think we're really good up front. I think we're going to be really good up front on both sides.
I think we'll be good up front in run defense. I don't think we'll be good up front overall. If you want to say on defense, okay. That's assuming a big leap from Latu and assuming Grover and DeForest can stay healthy and stay consistent in their age. I think DeForest is 31 and Grover's 31 or 32. I think they both might be the same age, funny enough, but
The ball. I think our wideout room is really good.
I agree with that. I still would love like a number one, but I think our wide receiver room is a good job. I got to give the Bastards credit. He's done a good job with the wide receiver room.
We had to make some cuts there that I thought were pretty tough. I thought Treadwell. I mean, I just
I mean, we knew who was going to be part of them. I would have loved Treadwell. I would have loved is it Johnson? And somebody who's been really good in preseason. Treadwell's like the quintessential practice squad guy. Just not very good in NFL play, great in practice squad. But there's one other guy. Also, if he doesn't mention him, I'll look him up. But like we knew, the room's going to be Pittman, Pierce, Downs, Gould, Doolin, and Adonai Mitchell, right? Like we knew this. He knew this. Shane knew this. Chances are the wide receivers knew this. They're going to be practice squad guys. But again, I'm fine with those cuts. I would have liked to keep some of those guys, maybe as special teams or gunners or whatever. But fine, I'm okay with cutting those guys.
Treadwell. Think of this. I mean, guys, over 30 years old, former first round pick, competes his ass off every
There it is. There it is. There's the random swear where he just really puts a lot of emphasis on it.
day. But it's a good room. It really, I mean, it's an excellent room. I mean, it's like when you think in terms of like a basketball team, you
I forgot to mention this. With the offensive line, I know I got a little bit distracted. I think I pivoted from offensive line to defensive line. With the offensive line, I think we'll be good in run defense because we were very good last year. I am concerned that we have a distinct lack of backup at tackle. I believe we signed somebody at tackle outside of Bernie, Braden, and Jalen Travis. We had Blake Freeland there, but of course he got down. He was injured. Hope for the best for him. Wasn't looking great before, admittedly. Um, I think we'll be good in run defense because we were last year, and we played a lot of the similar guys last year. Um, Pass defense, I do worry. Gonsalves is an interesting player, had some flashes, but I also don't know if he's just built to be a starting guard. I think he's probably best as a starting tackle, and we're just sort of shifting him to guard. I think it's probably the same for Bortolini. I think he either needs to be like the most sound form guy ever, or he really needs to bulk up. Because if you watch this Sunday. I don't know exactly who the Dolphins have at nose, but there's going to be one play where the dude just gets bull rushed and dies, right? Like, I like them both. I think both can be interesting. Both are going to take time, and both, for a team you're hoping to be good, probably don't fit. All right, both, like Tanner, fine. I thought he played well last year. If you want to start him, fine. I don't take issue with that. Probably want somebody a little bit more veteran in there, especially with Daniel Jones, but fine. I just don't think either really fit for a team that's trying to win now. I think both need some time to develop. But I like Matt Sperano. I think he's a great offensive line coach, so maybe I end up with egg in my face.
Kind of got all the elements that you want when you're building a basketball team. You got a big man in Pitt who can win, both short, intermediate, and down the field with his size. You have Pierce who can stretch it. You have a young player in AD Mitchell who we think's got big upside that
AD Mitchell is the Cody Williams of the Indianapolis Colts.
can create off after the catch. You got Josh
AD Mitchell is the Cody Williams of Treadwells.
who I think is just tremendous.
I agree.
And then you got Anthony Gould who's coming on, and then Mr. Reliable Doolin who every time we put him in the game he catches the ball and does well and is
Sorry to pause. I mean, he's going to praise Doolin for probably 10, 20 more seconds. Gould has really sort of popped on. Not popped onto the scene because, I mean, he was good in prior years, but all reports from camp is that he seems to be doing really well as slot. Mitchell played a little bit of backup spot. He also played a little bit of inside outside. Um, isn't it insane to say that we should at least invest 50-50 resources into Golden Mitchell? I get it. Mitchell has a lot more upside, but the concerns with him are mental. Anthony Gould definitely has lower upside, right? Like, I mean, Adonai Mitchell is a freak, right? Like, that dude's, I mean, like the Anthony Richardson of wide receivers, not to that level, but like an absolute unit. But Anthony Gould's also been really good, and Adonai hasn't. I guess we'll see, but I do agree with him that I think this wide receiver room is good. Sucks. Oh my God, it sucks. Daniel Jones is only going to use Josh Downs, sometimes Pitt, and Tyler Warren. Alec Pierce is just gonna get hoed. Like this might genuinely outside of Anthony Richardson, the person who's probably affected by this decision the most is Alec Pierce. Super talented, but also a little bit stiff. Gonna work best as a deep route runner. Would I mean just dominate if he had cornerback twos on him or cornerback threes on him, like if he had a wide receiver one next to him. But he also needs a quarterback who's willing to throw the ball more than 7 yards. Is it great Anthony threw the ball 70 yards every time? No. Is that Shane Steichen's fault largely? Yeah. Um, but I digress. Sorry, my hips are hurting, so I'm just turning a little bit, just so I can, have them a different way.
on teams. So it's an excellent room, and every kind of have a niched out role. But I do like the strength. I like our tight end room a lot.
I don't mind the tight end room. I mean, it's basically the same as last year. I don't understand why everybody's so insistent on keeping Ogletree. Didn't really play last year. Has a not great criminal record, or at least not great PR history. I'm not talking about punt returns. Has limited upside, smaller guy. I don't understand why you don't keep Woods, who does have a bit of blocking upside. Ogletree's always going to be a better blocker than him. I will fully admit that. But you have Mo, you have Warren, you have two blocking tight ends. One is like a 11 man, 11th man, 12 man, whatever they call it, a guy who can always stay on the field. Mo can be a good substitute for that if Warren needs a break. He's not great as a route runner anymore, but he's also a really good run blocker, really good pass blocker. I mean, totally fine in those aspects. Have two pass catching guys in Mallory and Woods. Woods can be a deep threat. Mallory's hands are just made of glue, right? Like, I think the room could be better. It's not bad. We made improvements to it, and ultimately that's what matters. But I disagree with keeping Ogletree.
Has Tyler Warren surprised you at all, or is this what you
I
saw?
mean, he's pretty good. I mean, we thought he's going to be pretty good. And we think he's going to be a really good pro.
I agree with that. I do think Warren's going to be really good. He's looked really good in camp.
I don't want to put undue expectations on him, but he's pretty freaking good.
Chris, sorry, did you really
No,
not know about the claim guy until someone told you in here?
no, I just found out. You told me. Good. I knew we put it in. I just
I mean, if he knew they put it in, okay. But I don't like he was that surprised about it. I do think that implies Lou has a lot more decision making than he probably should, but
didn't know I didn't know we got him.
Yeah.
Did you put in any other claims?
No.
bullshit. I think he's not going to say, but
Is
That
there?
was a good one though. That was good.
That's
That's good.
I don't I don't like the guy. Well, as a GM, but all reports he seems to be like a great dude off the field. It's honestly pretty funny, not in like a traditional way, sort of in like a frustrating bang your head against the wall way. I say this not trying to like disparage the guy. I said the same thing about Gus Bradley last year. Bio reports, both are like tier S dudes. Like both seem great. I just don't like what they do as professionals.
Your offensive line depth, are you, obviously you mentioned Freeland, that was a hit. Jalen's young. What do
Yep.
you think there?
Oh, look, I
Jalen Young, that's who I was thinking of as the fourth tackle.
think Jalen Travis is going to be excellent. I do. He is big.
I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Jalen is young, not Jalen Young. Let me look up the fourth tackle while we listen to this. Because I actually do like Travis.
Now that's one that I'm not going to say surprised me, but he's come along faster than I thought he would.
Okay.
And he's a much better athlete. I thought he was a decent athlete, but he's a much better athlete. You ought to watch
Dude's a freak.
him there skipping rope in the weight room. It's impressive for a 340-pound guy. Um, I like where Tucker's at. Tucker's really come along.
Luke Tenuta, that's his name. Fourth tackle. Travis is a swing tackle. They'll have him play left and right tackle. I'm fine with having four tackles. I probably would like a better one than Luke Tenuta, but I mean, if there was a good tackle available, he'd be signed.
Being an undrafted guy a year ago, having to get thrown in the mix and start some games, and he had some struggles, but bounced back from that. I'm excited about him. I was excited when we actually put him in there at center, and he looked pretty good. Um,
Not really.
Penner was dealing with a knee kind of all of camp, but we've got
Yeah, that one's too bad. I actually would like Danny Pinter being maybe not starting, but being like a consistent roster guy. I mean, I would be fine, like, if Bortolini went down at center, having him go in at center. If Gonsalves went down at guard, having him at guard. He wasn't great at guard, but I thought he's fine. Like, he's the reason he got, critiqued so much is we had a great offensive line, like an elite offensive line, and we went from great in one position down to like average, maybe a little bit below average, but I mean, in the NFL, having average to below average at one position on the line is great. Um, I would have liked to keep Pinter. Chances are he'll probably be signed or picked up at some point. Like he's a good offensive lineman. Like don't get me wrong. Do you want him starting? Probably not. But I think I might have preferred him starting either at guard, at center, have Bortolini either stay at center, shift to guard, and that way you have sort of a more veteran offensive line, but I digress.
calm down. He does. So, we've played good football with, with Danny and then keeping Tenuta, who, we claimed him a few years back and then he kind of bounced around and then the ability to get him back and his ability to play both left and right tackle. So, yeah, I feel pretty.
I actually don't know much about Tenuta, admittedly. I've heard he's looked meh in camp, but I mean, he's your fourth string tackle. Okay, like I don't really care.
Good about our depth there.
Fifth string if Freeland were healthy. Maybe fourth string though. I'll be honest. I'm okay. I was okay with experimenting with Freeland. Dude's also another freak athlete. He's ass. He's turbo ass. I feel terrible that he got injured again. From everything I've heard, seems like a fine guy. Seems like a good guy. Um, I mean, I wish the best for 99% of players in the NFL, but yeah, he's not good. So maybe Tanute is a blessing in disguise.
Is there anything going on with Mike Hilton or not?
Let me just say this: we're going to explore guys right now. We're going to explore vets. You're going to see it over the next 10 days. You're going to see it over the next month. We're going to.
I don't love seeing it over the next 10 days. Ideally, you have at least a decently established room for one of the most difficult positions in the NFL, in which having some continuity is not necessarily a bad thing, or at least having a bit of continuity, right? Like giving guys a couple months to learn a scheme that, by all reports, is pretty intense. Like, I mean, Xavier might know it a little bit. If Hilton comes in, he's going to know it. I'm not worried about him. But yeah, ideally, you keep the guys who know the system, give them some run, who are younger, healthier, and again, who know the system, and move on. Let the guys grow, have some continuity there, but
Bring guys in. That's that's what we do. We're going to kick the tires, make sure that we have a list of guys that if we have to go to, we can go to them.
Chris, how much
Couple
pressure
more.
do you, I guess, personal, pressure, responsibility, whatever, do you personally feel going into year nine? And I guess knowing that, in a way, you've made a big decision to go with Daniel Jones and I guess roll with that going into a year where things could change.
I don't know. I don't. I think y'all all know me well enough that I, I care deeply about this organization and city.
then you would. Maybe he does. But if he does, if anything, that's just more of an indictment on him.
Okay, the fans, the way they treat you, they're great. Now I got a few emails that were nasty, but I
Chris Ballards has an open email.
always wonder if that's from what basement is some dude writing that from.
Yeah, no, like, this is widely true for every fan base in the NFL. I genuinely don't know another Colts fan, right? Like I'm in Utah. It's hard to find a fan of somebody who's a fan of a team other than like the Chiefs and Broncos, much less the Colts. There's 30 of us, 28 are in Indianapolis. But no, I do agree with him, right? Like don't send the guy hate. Is he a bad GM? Yeah. Is he a bad guy? No. No, he seems like a good dude. Don't send him hate. But if he does have an open email, I would leave some comments, some critiques, similar to how I would like a senator or a representative, where they may be nasty. That was a horrible trumpet. Nasty stuff, nasty stuff. Um, but they'll be professional. So if anybody knows Chris Ballard's email, if it's not public, don't say it. But if it's not public, shoot it to me. I'm kidding.
But saying that, um, I I don't I just don't roll that way. I never have. I never rolled that way.
I think I said this. I'm sorry. I'm so tired. But most fans are great.
I worry about what the future holds.
I mean, you losing your job is hopefully in the future.
I'm fortunate to work in the National Football League. I've always
Yes, you are, because TBH, you might not deserve it currently.
been grateful, and I will never take one day for granted. Whatever
Starting now, because you've taken the past 8 years for granted.
This is a unique place. I could have to go get a real job for a living. That would suck. That would really suck. So no pressure in that way.
I mean, in your combos with Harley, how would you define success this upcoming season?
Winning. I mean, we always
Really?
accomplishing our goals. I mean, we all know. Like,
And those goals are?
I don't think I've ever shied away from the fact that we haven't been good enough. Like I never shied away from that. And she doesn't either. She's just
I mean, you have for the past 9 years. You've said we're close.
competitive. Both of them are. Not, it's not just Carly, but so is Kaylin and so is Casey. They're competitive. I think that's the one thing about Jim that I really loved was God. I mean, he was competitive, wanted to win. They got the same gene. So I mean, success is
I'm
winning.
hoping they didn't get the sentimentality gene. I don't say that to discourage them during their time of grief or to discourage Jim. I mean, Jim seemed like a good dude, a very troubled dude, but seems like a good dude. Same with the daughters; they all seem good. I don't know, but there's some fair criticisms to say both Ballard and, in this case, rest his soul, Jim Irsay, have held on to guys too long. And, I'm hoping the sisters don't necessarily have that. If they could take, some of the other stuff from their dad, great. From what we know, again, good dude, troubled dude. Hopefully they don't necessarily take some of the troubled stuff, but hopefully they take the good stuff, and I'm sure they have. They all seem great, right? I just hope they don't necessarily stay sentimental. I had to say that like two, three times just because I wanted to make sure. I know I said that roundabout way a couple times. Um, I just wanted to make sure, like, I'm not saying anything just super rude or messed up.
I mean, like I think we all would agree with that. Success is not losing; it's winning. So that's what the goal is.
What gives you
Last one here.
what gives you confidence in AR going back to the bench, learning and taking, I guess, slow when just historically, and correct me if I'm wrong, I try to go back and find like when's the last time a quarterback of this caliber drafted this high was benched twice this early. Like it just hasn't worked.
He's also been benched twice, and also not played half of his games. I mean, you can still prep with one arm. You can still practice, calling out the mic at the line with one arm, right? Like you can still do the mental reps with one arm, with a hurt back, barring and anything extreme. Like you can still do that hurt. Has he not been doing that? I mean, he's gonna say, "Oh well, yeah, no, he needs the mental reps. We still like him. He's a unique talent, one of one athlete. He's a freak. He needs the mental reps." But I just don't. If he hasn't had the mental reps in the past, either you've done something wrong, he's not been coming to practice, or he's just not getting it.
That team. So what gives you confidence that it can still work here when we just haven't seen it? At least I haven't seen it
Yeah,
all
Alex
year.
Smith went through some struggles and had success in San Francisco. He
I mean, he also wasn't number four pick level at any point in his career. I can't tell what this is. Is this chocolate? I don't actually know what this is.
took him to the playoffs. He got hurt, and Cap ended up coming in. But there's been example, at least one. Um, I don't know. I just feel like the progress he's making, he continues down this road. We're going to be able to see that talent come to light.
You in the past have said you make progress by playing, and I agree with that philosophy usually. How much more progress can he make sitting on the sidelines when he's done it for 60, 70% of his career?
I just like there's always got to be one time, right? So why not him? And I do believe that. Um,
But do you
his
think he could be
his
like
pro,
a
his
first or
progress has been good. Like you're going to ask Downing questions the whole time, James. I get it, and I understand why. But at the end of the day, time is what. Like I can sit over and give you every answer you want, okay? But at the end of the day, time is what proves you right or wrong, and your actions and how it plays.
and we have about 9 years of your actions proving us right, and we have about 80 years of the NFL proving us right that this just doesn't work out at this point.
You
All
think
right,
he could be a
thank,
franchise quarterback still?
I think it's your inning. I do. I think it's inning.
There's Chris Ballard. You see what I'm saying, where he had about enough of the questions about Daniel Jones and whether Anthony Richardson is really a guy that this team is rallying around and believes can be the starting quarterback for this franchise, that kind of thing. He had that about to hear. And so there was a pivot toward the cornerbacks and the linebackers and what he feels really good about on this roster, and that was interesting too. But interesting to see because it's really the first time that we've gotten a chance to talk to Ballard since that decision was made, and getting some of those questions answered. You want them answered, we want them answered, and so we got some answers today. I don't know whether you'll be satisfied with the answers. That's an
I'm not.
entirely different conversation, but we did get some answers.
I love that play just because one, I love Ken, and two, it's sort of interesting to hear, from somebody who's in in Indianapolis in the scene is a media member. But yeah, I apologize. I know this video is rambly. It's 1 a.m. and I've been up since 6. Fingers crossed you enjoyed. If you like more of this content, please let me know. I'm happy to go back to like fully NBA content. I can do more Colts content. I'll never go away fully from NBA, but at least until the season's back and we get big news, I can do more Colts and even NFL content, right? Like I'm planning on watching a decent amount on Sunday. Um, but yeah, let me know. Sorry, I know this isn't my best work. Not exactly the quality analysis I want to give you, but with limited time, limited research ability, I know I let me walk that back. With limited time and limited research ability, or limited time to do research and have the ability to do research. That's how I'm trying to say that. There's only so much I can do. I mean, I've been recording for almost an hour and a half, and if I were to bring up stats, prior years, more advanced ratings, it would probably take me 2-3 hours. I'm happy to do that, but you know, if you like this video, let me know. I can make it more consistent. But at the very least, I think this is kind of fun just to react, give my thoughts on some of the Colt staff's um, interviews, press meetings, scrums, whatever you want to call them. Just get thoughts on that because, I mean, ultimately, they're the guys who make the decisions. We're never going to know for sure what decisions will be made off of these, but I don't know. I have a good time making them. Hopefully you enjoy this, and I love you guys. Sorry, I know it's rambly. My brain's foggier than a British train station in a cartoon. I don't know. I feel like anytime you see a train station in a cartoon, especially more European UK cartoons, it tends to be pretty foggy, but whatever. Not my best work, but I love you guys. Um, your parents did their best work. Sorry, that's gross. God, whatever, did their best work making you, so.